The Killers.
The Killers are an American rock band formed in Las Vegas, Nevada in 2001, by Brandon Flowers and Dave Keuning. Mark Stoermer and Ronnie Vannucci Jr. would complete the current lineup of the band in late 2002. The name The Killers is derived from a logo on the bass drum of a fictitious band, portrayed in the music video for the New Order song Crystal. The group has released 4 studio albums: Hot Fuss, 2004, Sam's Town, 2006, Day and Age, 2008, and Battle Born, 2012. All 4 albums have gone to #1 in the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland, and they have sold an estimated 22 million albums worldwide. They have also released 1 compilation album, Sawdust, 2007, 1 live album titled Live from the Royal Albert Hall, 2009, and a greatest hits album entitled Direct Hits, 2013. Along the way they have achieved worldwide success as a live band, performing in over 50 countries and headlining arenas on 6 continents. Since 2006 the band have released annual Christmas-themed singles and videos in aid of the charity Product Red.
History. 2001 to 2003, Origins and Formation.
In 2001, Brandon Flowers was dumped by his first band, a Las Vegas synth-pop trio known as Blush Response, who subsequently relocated to Los Angeles. After attending an Oasis concert at the Hard Rock Hotel during the tour of Brotherly Love, Flowers realized his calling was to be in a rock band and began searching for like-minded musicians. He eventually came across an ad posted in a Las Vegas newspaper by Dave Keuning, a 25-year-old guitarist who had moved to Vegas from Iowa a year earlier. The pair shared similar musical influences and soon began writing songs together in Keuning's apartment. By the end of 2001, they had recorded a demo at Kill the Messenger studio. The demo featured 4 tracks: Desperate, Replaceable, and early versions of Mr. Brightside, and Under the Gun. Local drummer Matt Narcross played drums on the demo while Del Neal, who was Keuning's roommate at the time, covered bass on 2 of the tracks. Keuning and Flowers played their first live show together at an open mic night at the Café Espresso Roma in Las Vegas in January 2002. The pair, joined by Neal and Narcross, began playing numerous venues around Las Vegas where they would also hand out free copies of their demo. The Killers brought a unique style to the small Vegas music scene, which was predominantly filled with punk, nu metal, and rap bands. One local reviewer stated the Killers, thankfully, don't come across like any other band in town, and described their sound as a mix between the pop styles of British music and the lo-fi fuzz of modern indie rock. However, the Killers, whose early live sound was also described as erratic, had, by the summer of 2002, fired drummer Matt Narcross and replaced him briefly with Brian Havens, who also was eventually fired. Bassist Del Neal later left the band due to personal reasons. Drummer Ronnie Vannucci, Jr. and bass player Mark Stoermer were members of other bands when they met Keuning and Flowers. Both were eventually persuaded to join the Killers, and by November 2002, the band's current lineup was complete. The 4 of them would get together in Vannucci's garage to work on song ideas. They would also sneak into the band room at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where Vannucci was studying classical percussion, at night to practice. The band wrote much of their debut album Hot Fuss during these sessions, including hit singles Somebody Told Me, and Smile Like You Mean It. The band continued playing at small venues in Las Vegas, where they built a small but loyal following. They attracted the attention of Braden Merrick, an A&R rep for Warner Brothers. Records, who had came across their demo on a website dedicated to unsigned bands in the Las Vegas area. After attending a live show, he offered to help the band find a record deal and eventually became their manager. He took the band to the San Francisco area, to Berkeley, California, to record demos with former Green Day manager Jeff Saltzman. They then sent the demo tapes out to major record labels in the U.S. Most of the record labels turned them down, but Warner Brothers did invite them to perform at the Mobfest showcase in Chicago. Though Warner Brothers was not impressed by the band after the showcase, the band did catch the eye of Niall Norbury, who was from the United Kingdom. Norbury took back with him a 5-song demo made up of Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, Mr. Brightside, Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll, Somebody Told Me, and on top, he showed it to his friend Ben Derling, who worked at UK indie label Lizard King Records. The Killers signed with the British label in July 2003.
2003 to 2005, Hot Fuss.
On August 19, 2003, the song Mr. Brightside premiered on DJ Zane Lowe's BBC Radio 1 show in the UK. The Killers then travelled to London and played 4 shows in 4 nights. On September 29, 2003, they released the song Mr. Brightside on a limited number of CDs and vinyl records in the UK. Critical reviews of both the song and the shows were positive. As a result of the buzz generated in the UK, upon returning to America, they were invited to play at the ASCAPCMJ Music Marathon in New York City. A number of labels showed interest in the band, and they eventually signed with the record company Island Def Jam. The band finished recording Hot Fuss in November 2003 with Jeff Saltzman. They decided to keep many of the previously recorded demos as they felt they had a spontaneity that re-recordings would not have. Shortly afterwards they headed back to London to tour the UK supporting British Sea Power and finish mixing the album with Alan Moulder. During the first part of 2004 they toured both the UK and US as a support act for Stella Stare. They were also picked by Morrissey to open for him on selected dates of his US tour. The band's first headline tour started in the UK in May 2004. During the spring and summer of 2004, the group played much praised sets at festivals across Europe and North America which helped add to their growing fan base. The Killers released their debut album Hot Fuss in June 2004 in the United Kingdom on Lizard King Records and in the United States on Island Records. It received generally favourable reviews from critics. Extensive touring and the success of the Grammy Award-nominated single Somebody Told Me, All These Things That I've Done, and Mr. Brightside led to the album becoming a huge commercial success. Hot Fuss reached number 1 in the UK in January 2005, 7 months after its release, and has been certified 7x Platinum in both the UK and Ireland. It spent 173 weeks on the UK albums chart, more than any other album that decade. In the US the album reached its peak position of number 7 in April 2005 and has been certified 3x Platinum. It reached the top spot in Australia, where it was certified 3x Platinum. It has also been certified 3x Platinum in Canada, Platinum in New Zealand and Gold in Argentina, Belgium, Germany and France. The Killers were named the world's best-selling new group at the 2005 World Music Awards. The same year they were also nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, with Hot Fuss being nominated for Best Rock Album. In the UK they won an NME Award for Best International Band. On the UK version of Hot Fuss, Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll replaces Change Your Mind as track 8. In 2005 a limited edition version of Hot Fuss was released in North America featuring the B-sides Under the Gun, The Ballad of Michael Valentine, and Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll. The band fired manager Braden Merrick in 2005. Merrick later filed a lawsuit against the band, their new manager and lawyer Robert Reynolds. The band countersued citing that Merrick's poor management had cost them millions. The case was settled in 2009. In July 2005, the Killers performed on the London stage of the Live 8 concert, playing All These Things That I've Done. Robbie Williams incorporated the song's refrain I've got soul but I'm not a soldier into his own performance. Coldplay and U2 followed suit and, at their separate concerts played in Las Vegas, with the Killers in the crowd, incorporated the line into their songs God Put a Smile Upon Your Face, and Beautiful Day, respectively.
2005 to 2007, Sam's Town and Sawdust.
Shortly after finishing touring for Hot Fuss, the band headed back into the studio to start recording their second studio album with Alan Moulder and Flood. The album was mostly recorded at Studio at the Palms in Las Vegas, with the band finishing the album at Criterion Studios, London in June 2006. Upon completion of Sam's Town, Flowers claimed he felt the band had made one of the best albums of the past 20 years, and that the album captured everything important that got me to where I am today. In July 2006, the lead single, When You Were Young, was premiered and it became a hit, gaining another 2 Grammy Award nominations and mostly positive reviews, with many bringing attention to the influence of Heartland rock on the song. The Killers' second album, Sam's Town, was released in October 2006 under Island Def Jam Music Group. It received a varied response, with some critics praising the album and the evolution of the band and others criticizing and mocking it. Most notably, it received a scathing review from Rolling Stone magazine. The album sold over 706,000 copies worldwide in the first week of release, reaching number 2 on the US Billboard chart and number 1 on the UK chart. The record has since been certified 5x Platinum in the United Kingdom, 4x Platinum in Ireland, 2x Platinum in Australia, Canada and New Zealand, Platinum in the United States and Gold in Argentina, Belgium, Germany and Russia. The Killers recorded a live session at Abbey Road Studios for Live from Abbey Road on November 29, 2006. They performed an almost totally unplugged set, which included a rendition of the Dire Straits hit Romeo and Juliet. In December 2006, the band released a Christmas charity song, the first of what would become an annual tradition, A Great Big Sled, which benefited Product Red. In February 2007, the Killers attended the Brit Awards in the United Kingdom, where they performed When You Were Young. The band won 2 awards, Best International Group and International Album. In the same month, the band's Tim Burton-directed video for Bones won Best Video at the NME Awards. During the Sam's Town tour, the Killers began headlining arenas including Madison Square Garden for the first time. They also headlined a number of major European festivals during 2007, including Glastonbury Festival. The band released a compilation album called Sawdust, containing B-sides, rarities and unreleased material in November 2007. Sawdust has been classified platinum in the UK. The album's first single, Tranquilize, a collaboration with Lou Reed, was released in October 2007. The album also featured a cover of Shadowplay by Joy Division, which was recorded for the soundtrack to the Anton Corbijn-directed biopic Control.
2007 to 2011, Day and Age in Hiatus.
The band chose Stuart Price to produce their third studio album. He had previously remixed their songs under his Jacques Luconte moniker, the most notable being the remix of Mr. Brightside. They first met Price at his London home in 2007 to discuss the possibility of him producing some unreleased tracks for their B-sides album Sawdust. However, that same night they ended up in Price's home studio recording a demo of Human, a new song that would become the eventual lead single from Day and Age. The band took 6 months apart following the completion of their Sam's Town tour. During this period they would send song ideas between each other and Price via Logic Pro. The band finished recording the album with Price at Battleborn Studios in Las Vegas. The Killers' third album, Day and Age, was released on November 24, 2008 in the UK and November 25, 2008 in North America. Brandon Flowers stated that the album was like looking at Sam's Town from Mars. The band have also called it their most playful record. Day and Age became the band's third studio album to reach number 1 in both the UK and Ireland. It reached number 6 on the Billboard 200 album chart. It has also been certified 4x Platinum in the UK and Ireland, Platinum in Germany, Australia, New Zealand and Canada, and Gold in the US, Mexico, Sweden, Norway, Austria, Switzerland, Greece and the Middle East. In February 2009, the band won Best International Band at the NME Awards for the third time following wins in 2005 and 2008. The band's Day and Age World Tour was a huge success, with the band playing on every continent except Antarctica. They also headlined American festivals Lollapalooza and Coachella for the first time. The tour was named one of the top 50 worldwide concert tours of 2009. On July 5 to 6 at the Royal Albert Hall, London, the Killers recorded their first live DVD, Live from the Royal Albert Hall. It was released in November and played at various cinemas across the globe. Live from Royal Albert Hall was certified 2x Platinum in the UK, platinum in the US and Australia and gold in Ireland and Brazil. In January 2010, the band announced that they would take a short break after being on the road for the better part of 6 years. The break lasted for about a year and a half, during which band members devoted themselves on solo projects, while the band made sporadic other contributions. In late February 2010, Flowers' mother died after a 2-year fight with brain cancer. This resulted in the cancellation of dates in Asia. 2 Australian dates in Sydney and Perth were also cancelled. However, both the Gold Coast and Melbourne concerts went ahead, with the Day and Age tour finally coming to a close in Melbourne on February 21 as the headline act at the Good Vibrations Festival at Flemington Racecourse.
2011 to 2013, return in Battleborn.
The band returned to the stage in 2011 when they headlined the new International Lollapalooza Festival in Santiago, Chile on April 2, 2011. They also performed at the season-closing Top of the Mountain concert in Ischgl, Austria on April 30, 2011. They headlined Hard Rock Calling for the second time in Hyde Park, London on June 24, 2011. The Killers were also the inaugural headliner of the New Orlando Calling Festival in Orlando, Florida on November 12, 2011. In April 2012, Tommy Marth, who had played saxophone on the band's Sam's Town and Day and Age albums, toured with the band during their Day and Age World Tour and can be seen performing with the band on the Live from the Royal Albert Hall DVD, was found dead at his Las Vegas home. His death was officially ruled as a suicide. The Killers' fourth studio album Battleborn was released on September 18, 2012. During recording sessions in the band's own Battleborn studios, the band worked with producers Steve Lillywhite, Damian Taylor, Brendan O'Brien, Stuart Price and Daniel Lanois. The album was mixed by Alan Moulder, who also worked on the band's first 2 albums. The album became the Killers' 4th consecutive #1 album in the UK and Ireland and has been certified platinum in the UK and gold in Ireland, Mexico and Australia. The band's Battleborn World Tour proved their most widespread yet, with the band visiting new territories including Russia and China. On June 22, 2013, the band played their biggest show to date at the 90,000-capacity Wembley Stadium. The band performed a song specifically written for the occasion. Reviews of the show were extremely positive. The band once again headlined festivals across Europe, Australia, South America and North America. In October 2013, the Killers headlined the inaugural Life is Beautiful festival in hometown Las Vegas, concluding their Battleborn World Tour.
2013 present, direct hits.
On September 11, 2013, the band tweeted a picture, which contained 6 lines of Morse code. The code was translated to the Killers' Shot at the Night. On September 16, 2013, exactly 10 years to the day of their first show in London, the Killers released Shot at the Night, the first single off of their first Greatest Hits compilation, Direct Hits, celebrating a decade together as a band and a contractual requirement with their record label. The single was released with a video featuring Bella Heathcote and Max Minghella. The single was also the featured song during the 2014 NCAA Championship Tournament. The album was released on November 11, 2013 in a variety of different editions, including an Yorba Deluxe edition which featured a picture book of the band's history. The second single released was Just Another Girl. The accompanying video featured Diana Agron playing Brandon Flowers in various situations that relate to the band's 10-year history. On December 2, 2013, the band continued their yearly tradition of releasing a Christmas single, with the release of Christmas in LA, featuring Doors, for Project Red. The band is scheduled to headline Hangout Festival, 2014, for the first time. Jai readers voted the Killers the greatest live act of 2013. More than 134,000 votes were cast, but the Las Vegas Superstars easily came out on top. The band will perform on May 15, a concert in the Event Center of Sands Casino Resort Bethlehem. They sold out the tickets in record time. It has been confirmed that the Killers will perform a concert at the Bell Center in Montreal, July 10 The Killers will also headline V Festival for the fourth time along with influence Bruce Springsteen. The Killers to be confirmed as one of the heads of March Madness Music Festival.
Battleborn Studios and Solar Work.
The Killers own and operate Battleborn Studios, 2008-present. Brandon Flowers released the chart-topping album Flamingo, 2010, via Island Records. Ronnie Vannucci released Big Talk, 2011, via his own record label, Little Oil, in a team effort with Epitaph Records. Mark Stoermer self-released Another Life, 2011. Stoermer also produced the Howling Bells album, The Loudest Engine, 2011.
Discography.
Hot Fuss, 2004, Sam's Town, 2006, Day and Age, 2008, Battleborn, 2012.
Tours.
Hot Fuss Tour, 2003 to 2005, Sam's Town Tour, 2006 to 2007, Day and Age World Tour, 2008 to 2010, Battleborn World Tour, 2012 to 2013.
Awards and accolades.
The Killers have been nominated for 7 Grammy Awards, 7 Brit Awards, and 24 NME Awards. They are also the recipients of the ASCAP Vanguard Award. The Killers have won 4 NME Awards for Best International Band in 2005, 2008, 2009, and 2013. The band has won a Brit Award for Best International Band in 2006. They also won Best Rock Group in the MTV Europe Music Awards in 2006. To date, the band has received 6 nominations for Best International Band at the NME Awards, 3 nominations for Best International Group at the Brit Awards, and 3 nominations for Best Rock Group at the MTV Europe Music Awards. Sales accolades. Hot Fuss has sold more than 7 million units worldwide. It was the 26th best-selling album of the decade in the United Kingdom. It spent 173 weeks on the UK Albums Chart, more than any other album. Single Mr. Brightside is the number 12 most downloaded rock track of all time in the UK. Sam's Town has sold over 5 million units worldwide. In the UK, Sam's Town was the 70th best-selling album of the decade. Sawdust has sold over 1 million units worldwide. Day and Age has sold over 3 million units worldwide. Single Human is the number 13 most downloaded rock track of all time in the UK. Live from the Royal Albert Hall has sold over 500,000 units worldwide. Battleborn has sold over 1 million units worldwide only in 2012. Critic lists. Hot Fuss was named number 1 in the Jaigi's Best Debut Album Ever Readers Poll. Hot Fuss was named number 33 in the Rolling Stone 100 Greatest Debut Albums of All Time list and number 9 in the Companion Readers Poll. Hot Fuss was listed among the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. Hot Fuss was named number 495 in NME's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time list. Mr. Brightside was named number 116 in NME's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time list. All These Things That I've Done was named number 65 in the Daily Telegraph's 100 Greatest Songs of All Time list. Day and Age was named number 1 Best Album of 2008 by Rolling Stone readers. Battleborn was named number 2 Best Album of 2012 by Rolling Stone readers. Radio accolades. 11 songs by The Killers feature in the book XFM's 1000 Greatest Songs of All Time. Frontman Brandon Flowers also wrote a foreword for the book. Mr. Brightside, number 1, When You Were Young, number 4, and All These Things That I've Done, number 10, all appear in the top 10 on the list. Mr. Brightside was named the best song of the decade by the listeners of XFM. Somebody Told Me also ranked in the top 10 at number 9. Mr. Brightside was named the best song of the decade by the listeners of Absolute Radio. All These Things That I've Done also ranked in the top 10 at number 9.
Activism and philanthropy. Political activism.
Invited by U.S. President Barack Obama, the band played on the White House South Lawn on July 4, 2010 for the second annual Salute to the Military United Service Organization's concert as part of Independence Day celebrations, which Flowers described as a monumental honor. Despite their hiatus, the band got together to play Human, Somebody Told Me, Mr. Brightside, A Duskland Fairy Tale, God Bless America Read My Mind, and When You Were Young. Flowers, Keuning and Stoermer also played at a campaign rally on July 8, 2010 in Nevada for Obama and U.S. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who was up for re-election. The Killers played an acoustic version of Read My Mind, and did a folksy rendition of the state song, Home Means Nevada. In February 2011, Flowers had a private lunch with Mitt Romney during Romney's visit to the Republican Party convention in Nevada. In 2012, the band remained neutral in the election.
Annual Christmas singles.
The Killers have been involved with the Product Red campaign, headed by Bono and Bobby Shriver. To date they have released 8 Christmas-themed songs and music videos: A Great Big Sled, 2006, Don't Shoot Me Santa, 2007, Joseph, Better You Than Me, 2008, Happy Birthday Guadalupe, 2009, Boots, 2010, The Cowboys Christmas Ball, 2011, I Feel It in My Bones, 2012, and Christmas in L.A., 2013. On November 30, 2011 they released the Red Christmas EP on iTunes, which features all 6 songs that had been released up to that point. All proceeds from the songs have been donated to Product Red campaign and the fight against AIDS in Africa. They have also enlisted the help of other acts including Elton John, Neil Tennant, Pet Shop Boys, Tony Halliday, Curve, Wild Light, Mariachi El Bronx, and Doors.
Additional.
The Killers' song Good Night, Travel Well was used in an effort to promote awareness for sex trafficking headed by UNICEF, MTV Exit, End Exploitation and Trafficking, and the U.S. Agency for International Development. The song Hotel California was covered by the Killers and Rhythms Del Mundo, with proceeds benefiting climate crisis and natural disaster relief.